everybody, and welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Power Hour. This is your weekly AEW Power Hour. I, as always, am Jordan, joined by my good friend Luke. How are you, Luke?
Tired, but
Yeah, you look like it, and
cracking.
I'm pretty tired today as well. Um, but we've got a week of AEW to discuss because there was
Indeed.
an episode of Dynamite, as always, and Rampage, and some interesting things happened along the way, I think. So why don't we get straight to it?
All right, so we kicked off Dynamite. We kicked off with Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy, and I did not hate this match.
No, this
I
was the
thought it was
best
very
I
good.
think I've seen Matt Hardy in quite a while.
This was the best in ring. I think this is the perfect sort of person you should be putting him up against.
Yeah.
Um, and
Although
yeah,
he
this
broke his nose or something.
it was his lip. It was his lip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
wonder where all that blood was coming from.
yeah. There's pictures afterwards, but like, super fat. Um,
Jesus.
yeah, I mean, it was nothing spectacular. It was a fun way to open the show. I thought it was a clever way to open the show,
I mean,
and this is the sort of thing he should be doing, a lot of
yeah.
like character fun stuff.
And this is the thing, I agree with you, but it's weird because where literally as I was watching this match in my head, I was going, this is the best that I've seen Matt Hardy
Mm-hmm.
in quite some time. And that's
I'd agree.
and that's not to downplay because I've always liked his character stuff, even with the, in TNA, even the stuff he did in WWE that wasn't as good.
Mm.
I still enjoyed it. However, in terms of actual in the ring performance, something about this match just clicked, and I do think it was the best we've seen from him in quite some time.
I agree. Orange Cassidy, of course, picked up the win. Good couple of exchanges. They both tried to do twist of fates on each other. Both tried to do each other's moves. And eventually, yeah, Cassidy won with a roll up.
Nice, nice.
Uh,
Yes, he did. I remember now.
Next is I Told You So, and I'm very good at this. Chris Jericho addresses his AEW future, in which he
Yeah.
puts his career against
I mean,
MJF.
we kind of both suspected this was coming, right?
I think it happened too easily. I
Yeah.
think it should have been like Jericho trying to get a match, one more match out of him. MJF just kept refusing, and then
Yeah,
um,
yeah. But it does make me wonder that maybe Jericho is genuinely transitioning out and maybe there's a reason beyond. Do you know what I mean? Maybe there's like some reason where they're like, no, I need to finish this in-ring wrestling pretty quick.
well, I think it's just Jericho. Jericho's always said he doesn't want to hang around longer than he should. He doesn't want to be one of those guys that holds on for far longer and people get fed up with him.
True,
Um,
true.
he knows his limits, and he's always said he doesn't. He's never really wanted to go off with a bang. He's always trying to just fade away, sort of thing. And this is kind of how he's going to do that. He's going to stop in ring because he has to lose. He cannot win against MJF
It doesn't make sense for
no,
him
no,
to
no,
win, right?
no, no. Because he
And
once he
also,
get
let's be real, he can lose, and then if they need to, they will find a way out of it in the future.
oh yeah, just like Cody will turn heel and win the AEW title at some point.
Yeah,
I wasn't a huge fan of the promo.
I agree. I agree.
I really think this would have been better if it was an exchange between him and MJF. If it was, give me one more match, I need to beat you. No. Well, I'll put my career on the line. Well,
Yeah,
or if
I
it was
agree.
MJF stipulation or something like that. But it was a bit, yeah, it was a bit dull the way it was. We then had Lucha Bros versus Varsity Blondes, and this didn't actually go the way I was expecting. I was honestly expecting Varsity Blondes to
This
win some
so
way, shape, or
this
form.
match, this match, in my opinion, was a mess.
Oh, I quite like this
It
match.
was. I like
What I
the
remember.
match, but I would recommend watching it back because I can't actually figure out who was at fault, but there were so many mistakes in this match,
It
like,
happens.
like, and I
Yeah.
couldn't quite figure out whether it was Brian Pillman Jr. doing not being in the right place at the right time, or whether it was,
Mm,
um, not Ray Phoenix, the other guy, I forget his
Penta.
name. Yeah, Penta. Um, because there were just so many missteps, and it's weird because it missteps don't usually take me out of it in
Mhm.
wrestling, but in this match it did, and I think it was because from these two teams, I didn't expect the amount of missteps that I saw
I mean,
in this match.
sure, the varsity blondes are very young,
Of
so I
course,
think it's still to be, they're still finding their way a bit. Um, so I'll forgive them for some mistakes, and like I kind of anticipate mistakes are going to happen because it just makes it feel that little bit more real. Like I've said before, if
that's
they're
true. That's true.
nailing every single thing all the time, it feels too choreographed, sort of thing to me.
True.
Um,
True.
but
Good
yeah,
point.
no, Lucha Bros won.
Yeah, we sort of expected there was going to be some sort of screw job here, right?
Yeah, I do wonder if it might be the other way around now. I do wonder if Andrade helps. Well, we'll get to that.
Maybe.
But
Maybe
yeah,
we'll get
I
to that.
was
Yeah.
I was expecting Andrade to. Well, I mean, I changed my mind
Okay.
immediately when Pac wasn't out there
Ah,
because
okay.
Pac wasn't down there with them. I don't think on this one. If that's
He wasn't. He was not.
no, it was just the Spanish dude. And I was like, okay, my plan isn't. That's not how that's going to go down. But hey ho, yeah. Lucha Bros move on to face Jurassic Express. There was I love this bit though. Just after the match where they're in the ring and they're facing off each other, and then the Bucks push them into puts
Yes.
Jurassic Express into the Lucha Bros.
And
And
then
then
there was the double suicide dive, right?
for a second, the Lucha Bros are like, "What the fuck?" Oh wait, it was the Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart wrestlers don't have to be stupid all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well
also,
done.
if they're smart, it makes it more impactful when they do be stupid and make a and do
Yeah, because it's
something
like they've
wrong in
actually been duped.
character, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they've actually been hoodwinked. They have been outthought when something like that happens instead of them just being dumbasses all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And then yeah, the double suicide dives and all that stuff was
I love Jungle
fantastic.
Boy. I really do.
Jungle Boy's great. Yeah, we'll get to it later.
Mm.
Red Velvet versus Jamie Hayter. Did not care about this match, but Jamie Hayter looks
Jamie
fucking
Hayter looks
great.
really good. Yeah.
He's insane.
I
JR
thought
called her thick.
yeah, I know. I thought
Boy.
I thought that Red Velvet maybe concussed
She looked,
herself in this match because I
yeah,
don't know
she
what
looked
happened.
awful.
But it
I don't know what the hell that moonsault thing was, where she just went completely
like
over
that
and
was
completely missed.
actually a mistake, right? It
I
wasn't
don't know.
that wasn't meant
I don't
to
know. I do
happen.
wonder if it was supposed to be that like Jamie rolled out of the way, but maybe they were too close to the rope, so there's no way she could roll out of the way, so she overshot it on purpose. Who
Maybe,
knows?
maybe.
I don't
It
know.
was weird
But Red
because
Velvet
I wondered if she was
looked
hurt.
maybe, but she looked awful in this match.
Yeah, yeah.
Jamie looked great. Jamie Hayter looked fantastic, but Red
Jamie
Velvet
Hayter
looked
looks like
terrible.
she could be a potential star in this division in the future.
Yeah. She'll break off from uh Britt
Britt
Baker in about a
Baker.
year or so, maybe. And that will all collapse. Um, but yeah, this was a odd match. Again, Jamie Hayter looked great. Red Velvet looked terrible.
Yeah,
Looked
yeah,
terrible in this one, but again, she's
totally
quite
agree.
young, so this thing can happen.
For sure.
We then had CM Punk coming out and talking. Um,
Always down for a bit of CM
yeah,
Punk
it
talking.
was great. He teased that Brian Danielson is on the way.
That was amazing.
Um,
Let's just talk about that tease for a minute because the way he did it was great.
oh yeah. He lured him in. He had him hook, line, and sinker. It was great. He
They
basically
started
was
chanting,
like,
yes,
"I
he
need to know
knew.
if I can still wrestle. Yes. I need to know if I can still go. Yes. I need to know if I can still be the best in the world. Yes." You might want to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah,
That's something like it's somebody
he
else's
goes,
stick.
that's someone else's stick. You might have to be a bit more patient for that one. And everybody just massive pop.
So apparently,
Everyone knew.
apparently,
Yeah,
that's not happening in New York anymore.
I know. I've heard this.
Apparently, it's
I
happening
don't
all
know
out.
the details, but yeah, I've heard it's happening sooner than we
Apparently,
thought.
just because of the momentum AEW have, they want to just build. So apparently, they're bringing it forward to all out.
So let's take a little
So,
quick
we'll
aside
see.
on that then, because of that
We
bit
got
of
the date
news.
wrong.
Because I think
Well,
I know
actually, we didn't get the. I thought for some reason I
we
knew
all
it was the
thought there
fifth,
was. Yeah, we all thought for some reason,
but
right?
like in my head, I think I just got overexcited and like because my work week is weird. I
And
was like, yeah,
CM Punk
next
just
weekend.
had us really excited. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
So there's 4 shows in between, this being one of them.
Yes. But let's take a quick aside on Bryan Danielson for a minute. Because if it is happening sooner, is that a good thing or is it a negative thing? And what I mean by that is, even when you've got a lot of momentum, don't you think that sometimes you can do these things too soon and it kind of helps you to space them out a bit?
I mean, it's not that much. It's like 2 weeks difference.
Yeah, that's
Not really
true.
that big of a deal, because
And actually having
originally he
it
was
be a
coming on
pay-per-view moment, right?
Yeah,
Having it be a pay-per-view moment
exactly.
is a big thing.
Exactly.
That's true.
It originally it was meant to be on the 22nd on a Dynamite.
So assuming that he does now come in the pay-per-view, how do you think they do it, if you were to guess?
I don't know.
Because I
with
feel
Punk's
like the
one, there was
pay-per-view
so much
thing
teasing.
throws it in the works now, right? Where it's like, what are they gonna do? Because when they do it on just a normal episode of Dynamite, it's kind of like,
Yeah, I
okay. But now I have no idea, because they'll want to make a big thing of it. But how do you do that
stare down with
without?
Omega.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's stare down with Omega.
And like you said, Bryan is the one that they could potentially get away with putting straight at the top, right?
Yeah. Because or maybe Eddie Kingston gets taken out and we don't know who by, and then Miro's new challenger is.
That would be great. That would be great.
Dragon.
I'd love that. Well, we don't have long to wait and find out if he is coming at All Out. That'll be on the weekend.
I fully expect Punk is just going to be the teasy guy. I fully expect that he's gonna be the one that's telling us who's coming and when they might be coming.
For sure.
So apparently he had AC on him somewhere. I'm not sure. It was on his shoes or something like that. So there's a hint to Adam Cole, and obviously there's been loads of hints to Adam Cole.
What I do like, and what I think is quite clever about CM Punk, and I expect him to maybe get into some physicality this week before the pay-per-view, maybe. But I think it's actually quite clever to have him do nothing physical until then.
Yeah,
because it helps to build the anticipation.
I think we might not actually get any physicality until the match.
True.
Potentially.
Very exciting times. Sounds like Bryan is all but confirmed at this point as well.
Did you also know this interview with Tony Giovanni was actually meant to happen on that Rampage?
Oh, really?
It was meant to happen on Rampage, and then they were like, nah, let's just get him out there and put a microphone in his hand and let shit happen.
Nice.
Which was the correct call.
Glad
well
they
done,
did
AEW. Again,
yeah.
Well done. Let's see, am I missing anything? We have a trios match. Those trios titles.
There was a couple of trios matches on this show. Trios matches.
Those trios titles have to be on the way. It wasn't a particularly good one. It was one just to get Moxley, Allen, and Kingston on the show. However, I did appreciate seeing Cesar Bononi because he's great. So Moxley, Darby Allin, and Kingston went up against the Wingmen, JD Drake, Cesar Bononi, and Nick Nemeth. Obviously, Dolph Ziggler's younger and far less talented brother.
I don't have much to say about this match because at the end of the day, when you look at who they were going up against, it was very clear what the result of the match would be.
Yes.
Like you said, it was a match to get them on the show and to kind of, I do think some of these trios matches at this point are just to kind of tease, these are the trios teams we're going to have when these trios belts arrive, right? Because they are coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure either of these two teams are going to be actual teams by that point. I feel like Moxley's going to be doing something else. I would love to see Moxley and Kingston in a trios tag, because I think they're a fantastic tag team. But obviously Kingston's got his stuff with Mirror.
But I also think the weird thing about AEW, I don't know how they do it, but they have done this a few times now, where they actually manage to have superstars involved in what more than one storyline at the same time.
Well, as we have with this, because at the end of the match, Daniel Garcia came in and attacked Darby.
Yeah,
Um, I was kind of expecting Punk to come out,
I was as well. I
but
wondered
he
whether
didn't,
Punk was going to come out.
and I
Yeah,
think that's smart because
I do. I
save it.
do.
Yeah, just save it, just save it. Um, then we had Kenny Omega, Don Callis, Nakazawa, and Brandon Cutler making their way to the ring, cutting a promo, getting interrupted by Christian Cage, and yeah, it was fun. It was fine. There were a couple of nods and a couple of like tongue-in-cheek bits, like
Hmm.
Kenny Omega hinting at Edge, which I
Yes,
thought was hilarious. Um, it was fine.
it's weird because I go really up and down on Kenny, but I don't think it's anything to do with Kenny himself.
No, I
I
think
th-
it's just a, yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
I think that it's funny because when Kenny comes out and he's the one doing the thing, it works.
Yeah.
When he comes out and it's Don Callis speaking and Kenny's not really doing anything, just being the sniveling guy, that doesn't work.
Mm.
Um, so I enjoyed this segment personally. Um,
It was one of those. It was fun, but it didn't do anything. There was no substance. It was again just to get those guys out there and remind you stuff was happening.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And this felt like one of those shows, right, where they sort of went, we need to build a couple of things for the pay-per-view that we haven't built yet, but we're also not in the place where we're not in the go home show for the pay-per-view, so we don't
yeah,
want anything absolutely massive to happen.
yeah.
um
I mean, again, it was fine. This ended up with another run in with Kazarian coming to save Christian,
which
um,
actually set up a match for
which
Rampage.
sets up a tag team match for Rampage. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, that was it for that. We had another 6-man tag. This one was a lot better.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe mostly because I really like. Is it Austin? Is it Austin Gunn? Yeah, Austin
Austin
Gunn, not
Gunn.
Colton. I really like Austin Gunn.
Okay,
I think he's
interesting.
great. He's got so much charisma. He looks good in the ring. He's built like I think he could be something special. However, Colton Gunn looks like creepy Joaquin Phoenix in this photo. Not even joking. So yeah, the Gun Club, which is an awesome name.
Yeah, it
Name.
is.
I've
Yeah.
always had a soft spot for Billy Gunn. I don't know what
And
it
the
is. I've
weird
always
thing
loved
is,
Billy Gunn.
Billy can still work.
He can.
Like, what
He
the
can.
hell?
He can. He's still quick as hell. It's incredible. But yeah, we had the Gun Club versus the Factory.
And this also helped the Paul White story as well. So it was a clever one.
Yeah, I guess. I think it was really stupid. I think it was
It
dumb
was. It
because it just
was.
shows QT Marshall. He's supposed to be this experienced veteran who's leading these young guys, and he's just a dumbass.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
got distracted, but so the
But
finish was Gun Club.
I do think that's kind of the point of his character, though, right? I think he's meant to kind of be the dumbass guy who thinks he's special, but he's not special. And so I get it. I know
I
what
get it. It
you're
was just
saying.
dumb. It's stupid. If it was on WWE, we'd call it lazy writing. And
True, true.
I think we have to be fair and say that was like it was a good match. I really enjoyed the match. I thought the Gun Club looked great.
Yeah,
Less so the Factory because they don't feel important in any way, shape, or form.
that's true. That's true.
Um, they just feel like jobbers, which they are. Which I'm so glad that Go Go isn't there because
He
he could be
doesn't need to be
fantastic. He
with them,
doesn't.
right?
No, he doesn't need to be a jobber. Um, oh, he should be Kip Sabian's heater. That would be dope. Do British guys go? But yeah, the God, Gun Club got the win.
See,
when QT Marshall got distracted because Big Show was on commentary.
yeah, because
He was on commentary the entire time. He only just
Yeah.
got distracted near the end because he's a dumbass.
Yeah. And also, my thing was, this would have made more sense if Paul White
Came down to the ring.
had come down to the ring and
Yeah.
like grabbed him or tried to do something.
Yeah.
Then it would have made sense. All he literally did was QC was kind of showing off to him and saying, "This is going to be you," and then Paul White basically stood up and said, "Don't say that to me," blah blah blah. And it was like, he stood on the end of the ramp 25 feet away from you. Why are you worried? You know? It's
But yeah, Gun Club picked up the win, and I'm happy about that because, like I said, I've always had a soft spot for Billy Gunn. I really like Austin Gunn. I think he could be awesome, given the chance, or at least very good. He could be like a good mid card at least. I think. And they look good. I think they would be a good. They're a good trio for that division.
I agree.
It's actually a thing. I hope it's a thing and not just a.
I mean, I feel like it's a thing because they are doing more trios matches recently,
and they've teased it before,
and they are building up trios as well. You know, you've got Danny Garcia and 2.0. They're clearly a trio.
I really like them
at this point. I think they need more trios names rather than so and so, so and so, and so and so.
Oh yeah, that's just tag team wrestling. That's just tag team wrestling as a whole. But yeah, I didn't think it was a bad match at all. I thought the young guns,
guns,
they looked good. I thought Billy Gunn looked incredible. I was watching it, and I'm like,
good at his age, right?
Yeah, I was watching it, and I'm like, fuck, he's quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's still got some moves, man. He's still got pace about him. It's
and
insane.
He's built as well. He's still built as hell.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Next up, we had another young star. We had Brock Anderson getting his head caved in by Malachi Black because
this was
what
clever,
else was going to happen?
This was clever.
It was.
And also, they played it the right way, where it wasn't just a straight up kick you in the head done. Like they let it have a little moment.
Yeah.
And they
didn't Brock Anderson rush in and take him down immediately, sort of thing?
Yeah, so Brock Anderson did a bit of offense. I actually think he's quite exciting, Brock Anderson.
I think a lot of the younger guys think I really want to see what Hook can do, for instance. But I think this show proves just again, like the last couple of weeks has. A lot of their young guys look really promising, regardless if it's
let's be real. The fact that they even have the confidence in Brock Anderson to say to him, we're going to put you in the main event against someone that we're trying to make one of our biggest stars.
Yeah,
go out there and do your job. Because one thing that I think fans in general maybe forget about wrestling is the loser still has a job to do, and they still have to do that job well.
Yeah,
and he did what he needed to do in this match very well.
Apparently backstage people are very, very impressed with Brock Anderson. He looks nearly as old as his dad.
Yeah, which is odd, right?
Which is bizarre. Because like I looked up his age afterwards. He's like 24. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, he's younger than us, and he looks way older than us.
He looks like he's in his 40s. But he looked impressive. I think they still keep just missing the mark with Aleister Black. The last 2 times he's had a match so far, they've had the perfect time to end it there. He looks dope, and then they don't. They keep going a little bit further.
Yeah. But I do feel like that's because they're building something. So
you could do that without ruining the bit. Like for instance, the extra bit that happened after the Cody match should have been on that Dynamite. There should have been a different episode. Here, this could have been built up again in a promo backstage. So obviously, Malachi Black just kicks Brock Anderson's face off because that's what he does. And then there's a fun little exchange between Malachi.
I quite like the Arn.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Malachi and Arn. where
With
Malachi
Arn
comes in
blocking
with
the
a steel
kick, right?
chair. Hold on, I'm getting there. It's all a good bit. He comes in with a steel chair like he's gonna beat the ever loving crap out of him, and then Arn's like, "Nah, fight like a man." So he throws the chair away, tries to black mass him or whatever they're gonna call it now.
Yeah, I don't know what they're calling it.
And Arn blocks it, and Malachi's like, "All right," and then just kicks him in the dick,
yeah,
and then black mass, and that should have been it. But then some music hits, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because no one reacts, and then Big Shotty Lee Johnson comes out, who is another great young guy,
and he is part of the Cody Rhodes
he is.
stable.
Who isn't? Everyone seems to be. And then that just muddled things because then they were like,
and it's
running away from
weird.
Lee Johnson, and it's like, no, obviously he's not running away from Lee Johnson. He was on his way out.
And it's also weird because it's one of those things where it's like, usually when you do one of these moments where you play someone's music and then they run out, it's because it's a big person who means something.
Yeah, if it was like Cody, it would make sense.
Yeah. And no disrespect to Lee Johnson, because I actually think he's good.
I do as well.
But in that moment, he could have still come out, but they didn't need to play his music.
Camera was on him for a couple of seconds before I clocked who it was. I'd forgotten who he was because I hadn't seen him in so long.
Wow.
I was surprised this wasn't Dustin, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was expecting Dustin Rhodes to come out because Malachi dropped his name, so they'd kick his head off as well.
He did also say, though, anybody else associated with the Nightmare family. So Lee Johnson does make sense.
Oh yeah, it does. It was just poorly executed. It should have been done after.
I agree.
Anderson was black masked. On the whole, this was an okay episode. It was fine. It wasn't anything special.
It's the weird thing that I say every week is like AEW is actually hard to judge right now because right now we're judging them against the shit that is WWE currently.
I mean, I'm not personally because I don't watch this shit, so I can't.
No, but what I mean is when we say it's an okay episode of Dynamite,
I'm judging it against other episodes of Dynamite.
It is important to also remember, though, for anyone else listening, is like an okay episode of Dynamite is still a pretty good episode of wrestling overall.
I mean, this one was fine.
Yeah,
there wasn't any. If you missed it, meh. You didn't really miss anything.
You didn't really miss much. Maybe just the Jericho bit, right? But even that as long as you hear that, you don't need to see it necessarily.
Yeah, it's one of those you can catch up and not miss anything. The CM Punk bit was good, but it wasn't. There was nothing there that you had to watch. There was anything sort of thing. It was just kind of was what it was.
I agree with you. I don't think any of the matches were that memorable. I think they all just sort of played their part and did their bit. And then we get to Rampage, which I think was a little bit of a different story.
It was a lot of a different story. So we kicked off big time with Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Bros, and this was incredible.
Yeah,
what a hell of a match.
What is it with these opening matches on Rampage? They seem to do.
Yeah, someone said they got them. They're doing the shows the wrong way around. They're putting the main event first, but I'm like,
who cares?
I think it hurts the crowd because the crowd are less invested as the show goes on. But hey ho, this was an incredible match. I highly recommend you just watch it.
I agree.
Ray Fee, I can't remember.
This is one of those matches that is worth watching, even if you know nothing about the product.
Yeah, 100%. This match just reaffirms for me that Ray Phoenix is going to be world champion of some kind someday because he is inhuman.
Yeah. Some of the stuff he can do, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like when he backdropped onto the ropes and jumped back,
and also it's the accuracy of which he does things, and the fact that I hardly ever see him take a misstep anywhere.
Apart from that time when he fucked onto the floor outside.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he's insane. And Luchasaurus was great. Jungle Boy looked great. Phoenix looked great. Penta looked great.
There was one part of this match that I didn't quite understand.
Hmm.
And that was the bit towards the end where Luchasaurus kicked out on a 1 count after that move to him, where Ray Phoenix kind of was on the top rope and then did the destroyer type move. And it was like,
I think that's because Luchasaurus does that.
maybe.
I'm pretty
And it,
sure I've seen Luchasaurus do a destroyer
and it was
from there.
like, and it was like he kicked out at 1 at what
And then
was
they just kept super kicking him.
at what was ultimately the end of the match anyway. It just seemed a bit like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but you've seen it before. Like you've seen it with Kenny and so many other people. When you hit their move on them, it's just like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah,
Just like
true.
pumps them, sort of thing.
True.
But they used it great because he got up on his knees and he got super kicked, and then he stood up and he got super kicked, and then super kicked, and then super kicked, and it was
There
great.
were a lot of super kicks
It
in
was
this match.
it was awesome. I'm surprised in a way. Was I surprised?
I'm not, because I think that we just had the Jungle Boy Luchasaurus against Young Bucks match.
Yeah. But
And
kind
I
of
think,
story wise, it felt like they were obviously going towards the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to win.
yeah, for
Lucha
sure.
Bros, in fact, won.
Yeah.
With their awesome finisher. I love their tag team finisher. That's a great one.
And there was a little bit after the match as well.
There was. I think it's really clever though, because I'm not sure that Jungle Boy's first title in AEW is going to be a tag title. I'm pretty sure it'll be the TNT title.
I feel like his first title should be a tag title. I think it would be a mistake.
Or the trios.
Or the trios. I would take them as the trios for sure. Marco Stunt, he's a good laugh.
He's great.
Anytime he's in the ring, he's like a proper hype man.
His match with Murder Hawk.
Yeah.
His match with Murder Hawk was great.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
match. Yeah, what happened after? I don't remember.
So basically Young Bucks were up on the ramp as they usually do.
Oh yeah, they attacked them, didn't they?
They slid in the ring, they attacked the Lucha Brothers, and then Jurassic Express got involved and actually helped the Lucha Bros.
Saved them again.
So there seems to be a mutual respect there, which I quite like.
It's because they're all good boys.
I like that dynamic of two teams actually having a mutual respect. And also I like it because it's something we don't often see in wrestling, but when we have seen it before, it means that potentially one team will help the other team down the road when it makes sense story-wise to do so.
Yeah, or just turn on them.
Yeah.
Which, because they both got to be faced for this, but I feel like the Lucha Bros are going to turn heel soon.
I think so.
Or at least one of them, as I have said before.
Yes.
Next up, we had possibly my favorite female wrestler in AEW, Ty Conti, versus the Bunny. I love Ty Conti.
I do, but I couldn't care less about this match, and it was just because
me neither.
It was built on nothing, essentially.
Yeah. It was just an excuse to get Ty Conti on TV, because she's fantastic and she's gonna be an absolute star.
I agree.
She looked great in this match. I've never ever understood the fascination with the Bunny.
No, I haven't really either.
I don't think she's that good. I think I was on Instagram the other day and I saw how she won the Impact title.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Because she got knocked out and fell on an opponent and got the pin.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it because she didn't look particularly good in this match. Tay.
It's Ty. I think they call her Ty. But
yeah, it's Ty. It's spelled Tay. Always confuses me. She looked great and she was showing off a great move set. That cool like modified go to sleep thingy that she does. Sick move.
It's weird because we've given them a lot of kind of negative towards AEW for their women's division.
Rightly so.
But the weird thing is, recently, I do look at some of these women and I go, I don't think it's the division that's the problem. I think it's the way they're being used, because there are enough viable stars in this division.
Yes.
That it should be one of the best in the industry.
Yes and no. They're caught in a weird spot where they've got some that are more managers than anything, like Bunny, for instance. I don't think she's good enough to be any kind of champion. You've got people like Ty who are not ready yet. No
Yeah.
one believes that they're going to win anything
True.
because you
True.
know she's great. Like I said, I'm
Ty
a
is
big fan.
basically. I actually saw someone make the comparison
Mm.
that Ty Conti right now is basically the female Jungle Boy in terms of the position on the
Kind of,
card, where it's
kind
like
of.
she is the popular one and she's the one that everybody wants to win,
Mm.
but nobody really believes that she'll actually
Yeah,
win yet.
yeah. But then, great underdog story if it happens.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then you've got a couple of superstars. You've got
Mhm.
a couple of megastars like Britt Baker.
Yeah, yeah. But
That's
then
about
these,
it.
but then these ones that aren't ready yet will never be ready if you don't let them try.
Sure, but there's a time and a place for that.
True,
What
true.
you need is some more established stars that, like a Ruby Riot,
I was
like
gonna
an
say they
AJ
might get one
Lee.
or two soon. Yeah,
Do you know what? I don't think there's going to be that many surprises because it's on the fucking pre-card. It's on the pre-show, so I
yeah.
don't
I
think
mean,
there's
they've
going to
done
be.
it before though. They've
Yeah, but
done it
why?
before.
Yeah, but why is
Because
the women
Sean
on the pre-show?
Spears, technically his debut was on the pre-show of the pay-per-view.
I love Sean Spears, but I wouldn't say he was a big surprise.
No,
And
but
I really think the women's division could do with a few big surprises.
that's true. That's true.
I think if you get what's it they're calling themselves now? It's not the Iconics. They're the
Everyone knows who you mean, though.
can't remember what they're calling themselves something else and they're going on tour. Um, Ruby Soho would absolutely kill. I would imagine you'll get some NWA girls in
Yeah.
there. But yeah, I really think that they need some absolute stars to come in and
Yeah.
have the CM Punk Christian moment sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird one
Thunder Rosa's
because.
one. Thunder Rosa is apparently scheduled for next year, but
Okay, interesting.
that's a while
'Cause
away.
it is a weird one because I just think that when you actually look at their women's division, yes, it would take them time to build, but they could build it with what they have now.
Oh yeah, they absolutely could.
And if they do it right, it is something that could happen within a year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it
Um,
absolutely would. They would just benefit from having a couple of big names in there as well,
yeah, for
um,
sure, for
to
sure.
kind of even things out and give just give some kind of uh almost like mentoring because I'm just scrolling through their roster really quick, and other than Serena Deeb, Thunder Rosa, maybe Nyla.
I think Nyla, as much as people, I think people love and hate Nyla, but she does her job very well, and she does her
The rest,
role in that
like everyone
division.
else, is quite an up and cut. Like Ali or Bunny, I don't rate at all. Anna
Mhm.
J, Big Swole, Abaddon, I haven't seen her wrestle. Uh, Sheeta's fine. Sheeta's fine. She's probably a bit more experienced. Sakura, I don't know. Cargill, hate her. Statlander, I love
Yeah,
Statlander. Leela Hirsch, Red Velvet, Penelope Ford isn't a good wrestler. Riho, Tay Conti, they're all very young. They need some
yeah.
established talent there.
They're
Mickey James
all
would have been
yeah.
perfect.
It's funny, right? Because it's one of those things where all their female wrestlers who could make it, and they've probably got 6 or 7 that could
Mhm.
be stars, but all of them are probably about 2 years away
Yeah,
from
yeah.
from really
I mean,
being in that position.
I think they've got a lot of potential. It's just they need something now, sort
Mhm.
of thing. They
I
need
agree.
something to.
I agree. I guess that the shame for me though is I'd just like to see them using some more of that potential rather than just,
I mean,
oh,
in
let's
fairness,
just use Britt Baker and just use Nyla, because that's kind of how it felt for a little while.
that's that's kind of all they have. I don't know
Hmm.
where Serena Deeb's gone. Thunder Rosa is coming up. We
That's
know
true.
that's she's
She's
next.
brand new in terms of permanent AEW, right?
Kind of, yeah. Take on T isn't ready yet. Red Velvet definitely isn't ready yet. Nyla
Yeah.
Rose we've had. Layla Hirsch looked dope, but she's doing the NWA thing.
Yes.
Statlander is next. Jamie Hayter's only just come in. Jade Cargill looks cool, but she hasn't proved anything. Sheeta has disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. Big Swole's not doing
Mhm.
anything. Anna Jay's not doing
I feel
anything.
like you said it's like they almost need 2 or 3, right? If you could get 2 or 3 established stars.
Absolutely. And one of them might be Paige, because she's teasing that she's
Can you
on the way
imagine?
back.
Can you imagine?
I will lose my shit. I love Paige. Started the Divas Revolution.
Let's get to this final match on Rampage, because it was interesting.
So I missed half of this match.
Okay.
I was kind of in and out. I kept nodding off because I was trying to watch it after work, and because I didn't have the time to watch it any other time.
That's fair.
We had Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian, the worst hunter in the history of hunters, because he's always too late to catch his prey. Apart from that other week when he took Brandon Cutler off, and I was hoping he was kidnapping him, and that was it. We wouldn't see him for a while, and then Brandon Cutler just turns up again. It's like, what did you even do? Versus Kenny Omega and the aforementioned Brandon Cutler.
Who I don't know why they're making into a joke, because when I've seen Cutler actually wrestle and be allowed to wrestle, he can wrestle. Like it's one of those things where when AEW was first starting off,
wasn't he the guy that made all the gear?
I think so. I know he was heavily involved with the Bucks because he used to film Being the Elite for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was a wrestler who never really got his chance anywhere. And then
I think he ended up making gear.
And then
he was one in one of the battle royals, and they made a big story about him, didn't they?
Yeah, and he genuinely, like, when they have allowed him, before he was doing this character he's doing now, and I actually quite like the character, to be fair.
I mean, it's better than what he was doing before.
However, I still wish with people like this, when they're half decent wrestlers who can do character stuff, I'd like them to at least get a chance, because you can. I feel like, I'm obviously not a wrestler, but based on what I know about wrestling and based on what I've seen from other wrestlers, you can teach wrestlers to be better. It's not like, especially on the in-ring side of stuff, is like you can make them better in the ring. The part you struggle to teach them, from everything I've heard, is the charisma part, because if they don't have the charisma to do the characters and to do whatever they need to do, then they struggle. But you can make them better in the ring, and I feel like Brandon Cutler, with this storyline they're doing with Kenny and the Elite and stuff, they've kind of made him the joke. The same as like Nakazawa's basically doing nothing now, which is really fucking odd.
And I'm okay with that though, because I'm not a big fan of Nakazawa.
I mean, I get why you would say you're not a big fan of Nakazawa, but why take someone who can actually wrestle and then make them do nothing? It's just
because you've only got so much space, and he is funny. It's the same reason. It's like we can sit here and be like, why didn't they let Santino be a killer like he was before when he was Boris?
Yeah, true.
It's like he got a spot. He's on TV. He's getting paid. Like,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Meh.
I do laugh at him with the spray, though, I must admit. Brandon Cutler with whatever it is he's spraying. I assume it's water.
Yeah. So this was, as you can imagine, a story of Omega avoiding Christian.
Which was played well. It was played well enough.
Yeah. Again, it's not. I don't think I wanted to see Christian and Kenny in a match this close to All Out. I think he should just be trying to avoid him or whatever.
It should have been one of those things. It should have been one of those things where they did this, but maybe Kenny sent Brandon Cutler down to the ring on his own or something like that.
Well, have him fight Nakazawa and Cutler.
Yeah.
Have them be the what was Seth Rollins' security?
J&J security.
J&J security. Have them be like J&J security, but even dumber. Because that's what they are.
For sure.
Yeah. It was fine. Again, it is one of those, it
Everything
did what
this
it
week
needed to
just
do.
felt like it did its job, right?
Yeah, there was nothing other than the Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express.
Yeah,
Um, Nothing really stood out. It was kind of an average week
I
for
agree.
AEW.
I agree.
But that was
However,
bound to happen given, last week.
yeah, and
Um,
also, let's be real, they're back in Chicago next week, so I feel like they might pull out some interesting stuff for
I
that
mean, you have to. You don't go to Chicago and not do anything. You don't.
because
You save important stuff for that type of crowd.
yeah, because they've got three shows in Chicago, of course, with Dynamite,
Mhm.
Rampage, and then All Out on Sunday. Um, which is going to be very interesting, I think. And we will be here to cover all of it. I'm not sure exactly when the episodes will go out next week because obviously All Out is on Sunday night,
Mhm.
which means that maybe our normal AEW weekly Power Hour will kind of move to Monday next week. And then All Out will probably release on Tuesday because I assume that we will, knowing me and Luke, we will either record on Monday and then release on Tuesday, or we'll figure it out. But, just keep an eye out on the channel,
Mhm.
subscribe. And I also want to say thank you to anyone who watched our NXT 36 Takeover Power Hour, because that is our most watched video on this channel so far.
Indeed.
And we don't really know where it came from. So thank you for that, anyone who watched that video. Like I said, keep an eye out for our All Out video in future. That'll be some point next week. We'll be covering NXT this week as well, which you will see at the time that you're seeing this video. It should be tomorrow for the NXT video.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and keep it, subscribed here and like the videos, share your comments, all that stuff, because we're still learning. We're learning the best format. We're trying to get quicker at these episodes when necessary, but we will spend time
Mhm.
talking about major things when they happen, as you can tell by some of our previous episodes. Um, and yeah, we will see you for All Out and AEW next week. Goodbye.